Yes, welcome again. This is MJB. I will recite the poem, I Love You, My Gentle One. This poem is written by Raf Bitamazire from the East African Poems collection by Cook Rubadiri. So I will recite this poem first of all before I do the analysis. The poem goes this way. I'll start by the first stanza, which goes like this. I love you, my gentle one. My love is the fresh milk in the rubindi, which you drank on the wedding day. My love is the butter we were smeared with, to seal fidelity into your hearts. You are the cattle bird's egg. For those who saw you are wealthy. You are the piper's reed of the lake, which they pull out with both hands. And I sing for you with tears, because you possess my heart. I love you, my gentle one. That is the poem. So for the student, you are alerted of the sober approach to the poems. One, to go step by step. Always bear in mind the 5 categories of poems before you analyze a poem. First, find out its category before doing any analysis. Now, this one is a lyrical poem. It is because it speaks of some feelings, or the speaker or the poet speaks of one's own feelings. That is why we call it a lyrical poem, and it falls in the category of a love poem. Remember, this poem is a love poem, and it has some areas that are captured in the entire poem. For example, we have what we call fondness, we have what we call endearment, there is also intimacy, sacrifice, and also tenderness. All these areas are captured in the entire poem. Now, these 5 points are always identical with love affairs. All these that I've mentioned, there is fondness, there is endearment, we have intimacy and sacrifice, as well as tenderness. All these are always identical with what we call love affairs. Therefore, in a love poem, you have to find out what the poet speaks, or whether he uses a simile, a symbol, a metaphor, among others. This will be talking one of the 6 points. It will be taking one of the 6 points that we have mentioned, or a combination thereof. They can be combined within that particular poem, or one of them could be talked about. The first line, when we look at this particular poem, I love you, my gentle one, the first line, as I just recited the poem, the first line is, I love you, my gentle one. This is self-confession. When we do the analysis of this particular line, there is what we call self-confession. The lover is expressing what we call a feeling. There is a feeling of our own emotion. This is a reaction of love. As we can see, this part of the first line concerns what we call fondness. The lover should be a lady. The reason that's why we say that the lover should be a lady is because she talks of my gentleman, which means she is addressing a gentleman. And now, it seems that she is fond of him. The way she says that, in the other words, there is what we call, she feels so much sentiment for him, because she says, my gentle one. When you look at that line, she calls him so as another confession of the wonderful characteristics she admires in him. My is a possessive pronoun, and it is expressing what's called intimacy. There is that intimacy that is expressed by the use of the word my, which shows possession, that this particular lady possesses this gentleman by the use of this particular word, the pronoun my, which shows possession. So it is very clear, as it is stated, that she is fond of him, as we have been told. She is fond of him after showing some intimacy by the use of the possessive pronoun my. She will even envy a fly setting on him. So let's look at line 2. Line 2, as I recited, it states that my love is the fresh milk in the rubindi. Remember, here we are introduced to the use of two nouns. There is milk and we also have rubindi. So these two words are the key words in this particular line. They are the ones that will help us to analyze this particular line and understand what it means. So rubindi is a delicate and lovely milk serving utensil. Remember, it is delicate and it's a utensil that is used to serve milk. This utensil is always scented by women. It is scented by women that the scent itself is so pleasing. It is so pleasing that it entices you to drink more milk than you actually need. You can drink more milk by the enticement of this particular vessel, or what we call the utensil, which is named as the rubindi. So the milk, as we can see, apart from giving you that urge to drink more milk when using the rubindi, actually we have to realize that there is another symbol that is used in this particular line is milk. So milk is faultless. So this particular milk, we all know the value of milk. So fresh, the milk is faultless, as we are told. Remember, if it is fresh, we all know that the value of milk is so crucial, especially when it is fresh. So the most superior and balanced nutrition that we get from milk is so good that it can entice most people to consume milk. So the poet uses these two symbols that I have just explained to help you form an image, that you have to form an image in mind of how she regards love to be. That rubindi refers to tenderness, as it is expressed that rubindi refers to what we call tenderness of fresh milk, and there is that endearment which is brought out. She has wholesome love for him, for this gentleman. Remember, the voice in the poem, or the speaker in this particular poem, is this lady that shows this particular love to the gentleman. She is the persona Let's look at the third line. The third line states that which you drank on the wedding day. There is a message in the line, the message on the words on the wedding day. Though wedding refers to solemnity of their marriage, it implies that this couple swore before God to be together forever. That whenever a wedding is conducted, there is swearing in. They swore. They must have had some vows to live together forever. So it means that there is that intimacy which is brought out, that these people must have sworn to be together. They must have taken a vow to live together forever, and they should withstand any love hazard that should manage to befall them. So I think it is very clear that they are ready to withstand any challenge. They are ready to overcome any particular opposition that may arise in their love, which means they are ready to be permanent lovers. When we look at the fourth line, it says, "My love is the butter we were smeared with." That now here a poet uses a symbol. There is another symbol that is clear here. The word butter is symbolical. This word, and remember they took a vow of chastity. They were smeared with butter. Yeah? Butter or some oil is used on very important occasions. Almost throughout the world, especially when one is taking a vow to indicate total and lifetime commitment, there is oil which is used as a symbol. Now butter is used here, that they are smeared to indicate that there is some commitment which they offer themselves to commit into. Again, this line has messages of non-ceasing intimacy. There is that intimacy which is non-ceasing, that the intimacy which they show is permanent. They are committed to a lifetime love that will put them together for a lifetime. They are very handy to these brief and explicit orators. So we have to understand that they are showing some intimacy which is permanent. We also look at another line in this particular poem, which is the fifth line, which says, "To seal fidelity into our hearts." Fidelity means utmost trustworthiness. Utmost trustworthiness. Now, what does this refer to? Therefore, the poet uses this noun and says, to seal fidelity. To seal, it means to put permanent and indispensable. Trustworthiness should always be top inside their hearts. This means the poet is saying trustworthiness in them should be like that of a soldier and his gun. That's, remember, when a soldier carries a gun, there is that trustworthiness, that they cannot let go of their gun. They hold of it, whether there is a problem or not. At any given time, at any given point, they get hold of their gun, the soldiers. Now, when fidelity is used here and there is the word seal, it means that this is something permanent and indispensable. What we call trustworthiness of the highest order. That they are ready to trust one another like a soldier with his gun. There is another line here, the sixth line. It says, "You are the cattle bird's egg." I hope you understand what an egg is and the way it is delicate. This is another symbol that is used in this particular poem, that a cattle bird's egg, it's also symbolic. Cattle birds are lovely and cotton white birds that walk among cattle to eat hoppers. Cattle cause what we call, they cause to move as they walk. How tender is an egg of this tender bird? The egg must be tender, must be soft, too soft to be handled. The message in the symbol, in this particular symbol that the poet has used, it is simple. It is expressing what you call tenderness. There is tenderness among other expressions that are shown. But then we can understand that the identities of this couple is conveyed by the feelings about one another. Their feelings are conveyed. They are obviously conveyed as intimate. There is intimacy, there is that tenderness of love, and there is what we call permanent commitment with one another. They are committed to live together in a lifetime. So I think this particular poem is easy to understand, especially when you analyze a poem like this one. You have to analyze line by line for you to understand the message, for you to understand what the poet is trying to say, the message that is being delivered to the audience. Thank you for following. Remember to subscribe, like, and comment. Mwalimu Jeff Bama. Thank you so much. May God bless you.